Hey people, this is going to be the greatest Kabbalah lesson ever taught. After seeing this, you're going to want to go back to your guru and ask for your thousands of dollars back. And if you get your money back, go ahead and send me about 10% of it, and it'll help me keep these going. But I've been wanting to look at this for a while, and it helped me define a lot of these old Hebrew words. So we got a car show going on for a week here, so it's going to be pretty loud out here on the road, so I'm going to go on inside and let me get on with this. So when I first saw this, I knew what it was, and I couldn't find a real good clear copy, but it's all over now, and it's easy to find. It's called the Archometer, the Archameter. And so this word arch is in Genesis 1. It's in the first line of both your Greek and your Hebrew. In arch. In arch, the potion. To see those tone. Aranen to tingen. T-H-N-G-H-N. To tingen. To give it some color. To give the heavens some color. And you see it here in the Hebrew, the A-R-X. The X is what the Latin gives C-H, the arch. So there's several people that wrote about this. This old Joycelyn Goodwin, she didn't quite understand it. And what happened was this old St. Ives, he died before he finished his work. And even before he finished the work, the Pope was pressing him to put Jesus in there. So he kind of changed it to fit Jesus in. He changed the letter P to a letter S, and that's probably why he died. He was having a lot of pressure to change this, but he didn't come up with this Archometer. He copied this from an older work. And here at sacredscience.com, they got the most about it that you can find. Otherwise, you're going to have to find these books, and these books cost $300+, and it's not his book. Like I say, he died, and they went from his notes, and they had wrote it in French and changed how they thought, and then it was interpreted in other languages. And one writer says that there isn't a good English interpretation yet. But I can tell by some of the words that they try to fit in that they really don't know what they're reading. So this is taught in the Kabbalah now. If you look at the word Kabbalah, it's a Q-B-L-E, cue ball, the cue ball. So if you think of this as a rack of 9 ball, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this is the cue ball. From lack what? From the lick what? This is when you're going to hit the others. This is the king, MLK, the king what? This is you. You're the cue ball. So this has been twisted and changed by people that didn't quite understand it. But, you know, the most important thing is the color, is to give the heavens a tinge. And they kind of got the color messed up here. But just know that gold is Jupiter here. Jupiter is the gold, and the colors is the most important thing to start. But we're going to use this other one because it's clearer, it's easier to see. It's easier to see the writing and the musical notes on it. So what you're looking at is the 6 days of creation here, and the first 3 days are fairly easy to read, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th get a little more difficult. This is what they call the French style letter, France, and this is what we call block style Hebrew, but he didn't call this Hebrew. This was called Assyrian. This was the Assyrian alphabet. This Hebrew is a new invented word. This was always the Assyrian before that. The Chaldeo, the Chaldean, the Samaritan letters. And so this is all your letter K, these 4 here. And this is all your letter M in the 4 different languages. And this is another language called the Vatan language, is these symbols here. And so they'll have a different word meaning, but the same number quality, the same number values. So in the Greek, in that first line, it said in the arch potion. So when I read this, when I run into this tack here, I'm going to read the next word backwards and forwards. And so it's B-U-T-H-U-B and with of. And every word that starts with an A here, I'm going to read it backwards. So it's now M-Y-E-L-A. And when I run into this wall, I'm going to read backwards all the way to the beginning of that line or into the next time. Sometimes there's many mirrors in amongst the line. You read backwards to the next mirror. Well, in the Hebrew it says in the receipt bear, in first learn, from heaven, from yell, from the word. You know, in the beginning God was the word, from the word. And so this receipt, I've said it before, this was the word on my grandma's cookbook. She was French. On my great grandma's cookbook it said the receipt. It means the writings of the recipe. In the recipe, to bear in Ramiel. Ramiel is the first fallen angel, first knowledge to learn, to bear in the first knowledge from the heavens. The same, SM, the same is what hears. So in the first knowledge of the heavens, in Ramiel, is the same is in the word, is going to be to the same is what hears, is what you hear. And then it's where it's. This X, you can replace it with a TS. And you'll see it here in France. They replaced the X with a TS. So it's where it's, TS, RTS, T apostrophe S, where it is. Where it's height, EITE, height. Where it's height to is to shape. Where it's height, shape, to in the connection. Vav, connected, or to, be in, E, the connection. To in the connection, which shack. Which shack of the planets, of the constellations. And then all, where it's height to, to shape, to form. TEW is not form, it's just to form. To in the connection, to be connected, to in the connection, which WH, which WCH, which shackle, which connected, it's shackled in place. You're shackled to the wall. Which shackle in place. This is backwards and forwards. In PNI. Ping. Ping is a word we use for place when you're trying to place yourself in the stars. And ping the twos. TEWS. And so it's twos, but it's the shape from. TEW, the shape from. This final M is pronounced S, but it still means from. The to from, to shape from, to ru. Ru is not spirit, ru is to awaken. Where which, or to ru. From the word, from repetal in place, them is. E-the-M-I-S, them is. And in place them is. We're repetal in place them is. And so they're in place, but they're repedaling as everything turns. They're hovering. Repedal, hover over. And so this is going to tell us the first day is going to give us the first heaven here. And it's to yammer from the heaven, to make word from the heavens, from the words of the heavens. Yeehaw, yeehaw, row. To make the work, yah, make the work, yeehaw, row. To wage, is to make the work. To make the work. Same as yeehaw, but to yeehaw. The wage. How you going to ride my boat? Is you're going to have a wage. How. W-Y means how. How they get by. What is their wage? How does that person survive? What do they do for a living? Your wage. And then the tack. Well, their wage is to row the oar. The yammer from the yell. To yeehaw the row. The wage of row is to row the oar. Where from heavens to row the oar, this is the rower, R-U-A-U-R, the row oar. And so the row oar is gold. A-U-R is gold. It's the ancient word for gold. It's still on gold today. And where from the yell, from the words of heaven, to row the oar, to give in width of, B-N-W-T-H, backwards and forwards, width of, U-V, in width of, vividal, V-I-V-D-L, vividal, to see it, to see the picture in your head. If you don't have the picture in front of you, it's describing the picture so you can draw it in your head, vividal. Where the knowledge from the word to row the oar, given width of, vividal, from the word between the oar and vin. This B doesn't have a dot in it now. Now it's vin. A vin number is something that tells the age and the place of birth and what it's made of and what kind of stereo and what kind of suspension it holds, what kind of engines in it, to VIN, to the information. From the word between the oar to the information, each shack. The whiffer. Whiffer is an arrow. A whiffer. Something that buzzed by. A projectile is a whiffer. And you see that whiffer. The whiffer from the word, from the heavens, the arrow from the heavens. And then the wall, the mirror has me read this backwards again. And so it's from the yell, and then this Amelia. Amelia is the ancient god of work. Amelia means to work. You need a meal, you have to have a job, Amelia. The arrow from yell, Amelia, from the angel, from with Ramiel, Amelia, to work, R-K, A-R-Q-I, of the ancients. From the work of the ancients, the lower make use. Will husk for lily. Lily, you can see this is a lily. The flower for the lily. Will husk for the lily, the wage in B-R-O-R-B. And so they call this O-R-B the Orvit, the raven in the first orb. And what it actually means is not necessarily a raven, but a carnivorous a bird that circles above dying food. It means the circle. In first the circle above, to wage, to make the work. In first, BR, in first, the orb, to see first in, the circle above. You know, if you're hunting and you see the bird circling above, in first, to see first in. You look for the bird circle and you know there's some dying food somewhere over there. Or if they see you carrying a gun, they know you're fixing to shoot something, they'll circle above you. They'll circle above the food to show you the way. They'll be showing you the way to find some prey, knowing that they're going to get to pick the bones, the bone pickers. The orb is the bone pickers. And the wage in the RF, in four, the roof in four, the roof in above it, the roof in four, to make use, I-U-S, to make use Tao. And so Tao is the Sanskrit letter D. This is your letter Tao, as Jupiter. And you see it here, the letter Tao. The Christian something, I don't know what that is, alphabet astral. And the astral alphabet, the letter 4, D, is Tao. You can see it here, this letter Da, D-H-A. Letter Da. The letter Da. And so it called this out, it said the gold, it said the arrow, and it said the Tao. And it's telling you to line this up. This is the first knowledge. So this first knowledge of Tao, it means the planets, the seven planets. And so the first is the Tao. So Tao not only means Jupiter, but it means the first knowledge is the planets. So this got longer than I thought. I'm going to make this in parts, and I'm going to get working right now on the second one, and I teach the second knowledge, which is the sin, the sign. And it'll explain all through here on the second day. It's going to tell us more to describe the sign, S-N-I, is the second knowledge, the sign, to make use the sign. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here, and I'll put these all in a folder so you can find them. Alright, good day.